New episode by Takes. Post what is this? Post divisional? No. Post conference championship. Sorry. Post conference championship. We got two new victors going to not two new victors. Two victors going to the Super Bowl. It is now January 28th. And what a weekend, right? We got to see a rookie quarterback put up 23 points, but the opposite team put up 55. And then we got to see Josh Allen get stuffed at the 1 yard line. Not the 1 yard line, but the yard marker. Not once, but multiple times. Crazy. We're going to get right into it. Everybody, G Snipe up in the top left. And then, meet you at the bottom. You know the vibes, everybody. We're good to go. Let me get the first game out the way. Commanders vs. Bills recap. Jaden Daniels, bright future. I've seen it in the game. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys seen. On YouTube, he has his highlight reel on YouTube is 55 minutes. 55 minutes.
They put every play in there?
They had to put everything in there. Every play. I didn't watch the whole thing. I'll probably watch it tomorrow when I'm at work. But, 55 minutes is the longest highlight reel I've seen. That's damn near a movie. That's damn near one of our episodes.
Outside of Pat, who had more comeback wins than him?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. He had a lot of walk down moments. That was actually kind of crazy.
I think if that game was close, he could have did it.
I think so too. That's the thing.
I know.
Yeah, the surrounding cast put up a stinker. I mean, like when he left the field, they were down, I think, 2 points, and then fumble, and then down 10 points, fumble again, and then he didn't see the ball again for a little while, and next thing you know, they're down 3 possessions, and now it's 7 rushing touchdowns later, and an out route touchdown later is game over. It's ball game. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say I feel bad for the Commanders because they only shot themselves in the foot. I feel bad for the Commanders fans because they watched that game and they watched their team, just like the Ravens a couple weeks ago, shoot their own selves in the foot. You know what I'm saying? They could have won that game, but they shot themselves in the foot. I don't want to say they could have won that game, but I think the game could have been a lot closer than 55 points on their head top with those nasty turnovers. That kickoff fumble was absolutely insane. He got hit in his chest and dude said, like, that ball came out. Like, I was like, damn. I was like, that was crazy. But anybody's thoughts, like, that was crazy. To me, that was a really bad game. To me, that was a bad game.
It's just, I think it really was going to be a good game without the turnovers. Like, they shot themselves in the foot. Driving. You get, I think the Eagles just scored. And so they're driving and you fumble. Like, you can't put them right back on the field right after they just scored.
Austin Eckler fumble.
And then the fumble recovery, the kickoff, that joint was like, that's insane. It's like they just couldn't hold the ball, and that's what cost them the game easily.
Yeah, Snipe.
Yeah, Jaden showed up. Like, in my opinion, he showed up. My only knock on him, and I said it in our chat, it was late in the game. They were down a few scores at this point. And he comes off the field, and he sits by himself, doesn't say anything to anybody. If you see one of the top-tier quarterbacks in the league, and people in the chat wanted to say that, oh, he's a rookie, the team's going to lash back on a rookie telling you what to do. I'm not telling him to go yell at people or, be negative, but you see the top-tier quarterbacks trying to pick guys up like, hey, we're still in this, there's still time, let's go. You didn't see any of that. That's my only knock on him, what I want to see different going into year 2, is I want to see that leadership a little bit more, especially in big games like that. But in terms of performance, I think he showed up. The dudes around him did not. Mm-hmm. He only had 1 pick, right?
Did he have one?
Well, it was late desperation when he was.
Yeah, the jump ball. Yeah.
Yeah, the game was already basically over, and he threw it up. So I don't really count that. But they were in it, and those fumbles, man, they just came right after one another. And before you knew it, it was a 3-possession ball game. And anytime you're doing that and you're going up against Saquon, like, I was watching it. I immediately was Eagles control the clock the rest of the way out. I was like, it's going to be tough to get enough possessions to get back into it.
Yeah, I really watched that game. Once he scored that rushing touchdown, that was like, and I put them up. I put them at like 23. I think I put them at like 21 or 23 points, whatever it was. I was like, oh yeah, this can still be a ball game. You know what I'm saying? They can still fight. I mean, I've watched Jaden Daniels really like walk games down. You know what I'm saying? Like he would really walk games down, and to see like nobody. I don't want to say nobody showed up. But like there was no run game. Like Brian Robinson. He's only getting 1-2 yards a carry. Austin Eckler, he's getting smacked in the backfield. The O-line is getting pushed back. Everybody's getting out physical, you know what I'm saying? And the receivers dropping the ball, fumbling. De'Ami Brown fumble. Austin Eckler fumble. Scary Terry getting doubled. And Cliff not finding ways to get Scary Terry the ball outside of the slant. Like, you you played right into the Eagles' hand, and you played a different game. This game is not the same game that they played the first two times. And I know that the Commanders lost the first game, but they only lost by a possession, and then they won the second game because Jaden walked the field down. But that was not the same type of game that I saw from them from the previous two matchups. And it's disappointing because I wanted to see something a little more. I seen Zach Ertz look like he was one of the best tight ends in all of the NFL. Zach Ertz looked like a monster out there. He looked like young Zach Ertz again. But outside of that, like the defense, you got mauled. You gave up 7 touchdowns. Now, granted, turnovers don't help. You know what I'm saying? But 7 touchdowns? 7. Dan, you have a lot of money coming up this year, my boy. You have a lot of spending to do. You and Adam Peters have a lot of work to do. And I'm pretty sure Dan is it doesn't surprise me that the Commanders, they definitely overachieved from what they were supposed to. I think we can all agree on that. But Dan Quinn, if anybody knows his history, Super Bowl contending coach, been in the playoff multiple times. He led that Falcons team to the Super Bowl that one year. You know what I'm saying? He was on that Falcons team, I should say, on the coaching staff. I mean, dude's a stud. Dan Quinn is a stud. It's to no surprise that he led his team to where they were. Did they overachieve? Hell yes. Did they exceed expectations? Yes. But in this game, was it disappointing still? Yes. You could check off yes on all those boxes for me. But to not take anything away from the Eagles, who dominated the game on both sides of the ball, I am going to.
Can I ask you a quick question before we go to the Eagles?
What's up?
If you're the Commanders, where would you spend money first, offense or defense?
It depends on who the BPA is in FA.
So if you can get T. Higgins, you're getting T. Higgins, right?
Absolutely.
But like, what would you do on defense? Would you draft defense, or would you try to what would you do?
I feel like defensively, knowing the Commanders,
because I feel like defensively they kind of need a lot.
Because a lot of their defense is vet, but that's kind of what you want on your defense, though. You want vets on your defense, guys who have seen a lot of things, guys who are savvy, who can recognize formation, who can recognize, tendencies and stuff like that. That's why Bobby Wagner was a great addition into, for him being a field general for all the, younger guys that are around him or whatever, like guys like Frankie Luvu. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's a playoff merchant. He's been to the playoffs damn near his whole career. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's played with, one of the best group of secondaries in all of football, the Legion of Boom. You know what I'm saying? He's a very intelligent guy. If you talk to anybody, if you listen to any interview about Bobby Wagner, from Pete Carroll to Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, Sherm, all those guys will tell you, like, that guy was the smartest guy in the room all the time. And if anybody doesn't know, Bobby Wagner is his own manager. So all of them are his own agent. So all those contracts, those big contracts that Bobby got, he did it his damn self. So Bobby's a smart guy. To have a smart guy like that in the locker room and on the field with the young players is super huge. So I think that Dan Quinn will go the same route because I don't know if Bobby comes back. I think Bobby may retire. He is, I think he's like, what, 36 now? Maybe 35, 36, something like that.
He's that.
Yeah, he's old. He's up there. Bobby is, I don't want to say he's old because that's not old, but like, that's NFL old. That's NFL old. And I do think they have a lot to focus on defensively. They need to address the secondary. They will have to find a key replacement for Bobby, somebody who can run the green dot. Is there that in the free agency market? I don't know. I don't know what linebacker would be able to replace Bobby, with that type of intelligence maybe. But I guess we'll just have to see. I'll look more into it. We'll talk more about the offseason free agents and stuff like that.
I think they need safety, corner, linebacker.
Yeah, they have to get a lot. Well, I don't think their corner situation is as bad as it seems. Marshawn Lattimore did get exposed bad, but they have Mike Sandstrom who stepped up later in the year.
You like Sarah?
He is a dog. Don't get it mixed. Sandstrom is a dog. I just think that he wasn't put in the right positions, and he was a rookie. You have to understand he's a rookie. So he came along. He like their defense at first wasn't good. We all knew their defense at first was not good. It took a little while for them to get their footing, you know what I'm saying, to understand where their placement was. And obviously they benched Benjamin St-Juste, who was a huge problem early in the season. They ran with number 1 and number 0. Their safety problem wasn't as bad. I mean, I'm really upset that they got rid of Cameron Curl, but that would have been a great person to have in that secondary. But I mean, I think their biggest thing that they will address defensively is probably replacing Bobby Wagner and then go secondary, in my opinion, because they just traded for Marshawn Lattimore. You don't want to make that look like a waste of a trade. You know what I'm saying? You got 2 young corners that's right next to him. They can learn from him. So they can go linebacker and then they can go safety afterwards. Because you got to remember, they still got Allen and Payne in the middle. So if anything, they might go edge. I don't know. They got a lot of options. They have a lot of options.
Yeah, I think they're a good team.
Sorry, my fault. You said.
But a lot of my team building philosophies have changed watching the Chiefs go the last 5 out of 6 Super Bowls, and they draft DBs, right? So they don't spend heavy on DBs. Where you see veterans on their defense, it's D-line and linebackers. And I think, I mean, how often do you really see rookie linebackers excelling? I think that's harder to do. You see more young DBs playing well. So I think in terms of where they go on defense in free agency, you're looking D-line and linebackers. And I think it's on the defensive side because that defense is not good. That offense is fine. That offense is going to put up points.
I think
the offense is fine.
It's bad after Scary.
As long as you got Jaden healthy and Scary Terry's there, you can plug and play some guys and it'll be all right. I have that faith in him. I know he's a rookie, but he's got that playmaker ability. He's gonna elevate the talent on that offense. So if it's me, free agency, I'm looking for some vet talent on D-line and at linebacker, and then I'm trying to draft DBs, stay cheaper and youthful at the DB level.
So if you had the choice between, like, say, T. Higgins or D-line with a middle linebacker, you're not going T. Higgins?
It's hard.
It's tough, but I don't think so. Because I think that, I mean, they couldn't stop the Eagles. Yeah, that's the big thing. So if you put T. Higgins on that roster, it doesn't make a difference. But if you invest in the defense, it might make a difference.
That's true. You don't have De'Ami Brown fumbling the ball if you got T. Higgins.
Yeah, but I mean,
I get what you're saying. No, I get you.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I can't. I fully blame that on De'Ami, not protecting the ball and stuff. But I think De'Ami came along and he developed really nice towards the back end of the season. He became an extra valuable piece. He'll probably, if they do end up signing another receiver, he will probably drop down to like wide receiver 3, maybe. And that's if they even do that. If anything, they might go running back because their running back situation is not that great right now neither. But it just came to my mind. Like I'm talking about, they're replacing the linebackers and stuff like that. I mean, Frankie Louvu wasn't a bad linebacker, but is he more of like I didn't really watch
He's
where he
more of
played. He played
a
edge. He's an edge guy.
He does both. He does both.
Okay.
He does both like more than you would think.
Mm-hmm.
He's not strictly edge. He's not strictly stand up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's best at edge. He had like 9.5 sacks, I think, this
But he's
year.
more of like an outside guy though, outside linebacker. He's not
Yeah,
more of like a
definitely
middle of
not
the
an
field guy. Okay. So yeah,
And he even gets in zone like from the
I think they did
So-
take a hit on their D line though with one of the interior guys didn't play. It was
Payne was out.
Payne was out, and when Payne is out,
He's a run stopper.
yeah, because him and Allen, man, that was a nasty tandem. That D line was actually really really good a couple years ago. I'm very upset that they broke that D line up. Well, actually, I'm not upset as a Giants fan. I'm very happy, but I mean, you had Chase Young, you had Montez Sweat, Payne and Allen all on the same D line. Young
And
guys
they
like
had
that.
what's his name? They had what's his name too?
Who?
What's his name?
But on D line, Washington's got
They had
Newton.
another
He's,
edge.
he's, he's
They
from
had another
Illinois,
edge.
but
Other than Sweat and Chase, they had somebody else. Who was
Armstrong.
nasty.
Was it Armstrong?
Nah.
I can't remember who it was. I think it was Armstrong.
It was a big name too. He got paid somewhere.
Yes,
It was
right.
insane.
But yeah, Newton, he was their backup DT.
Sorry.
So he played a lot of the snaps. What we saw on Sunday, I thought he played well, but still, across that D line, they didn't have answers. They don't have any true run stoppers. So they've got to figure it out because I mean they're going to face Saquon 2 times every year. So
Yeah, and Dallas isn't going to be what they were last year for too much longer. I can't say what the Giants are going to be. I don't know what the hell we're doing. So, and we'll talk about that more in the future weeks to come. But moving on to as much as we're not really shitting on the Commanders, but as much as we're down in the Commanders and their loss, I do have to give praise to the Eagles and the guy. We're going to talk about Saquon and how that man is a cowbell. And he is a workhorse. He is a monster. A rookie reborn. Rookie reborn. Saquon looks like the first round draft pick. Man, he is. If MVP was decided after the AFC Championship, it would most definitely be Saquon Barkley. At 100%. 100%.
Oh,
he's definitely looking like the MVP.
Yeah,
100%.
it's not even close. And that's no discredit to the other runner-ups. It's just Saquon. He's playing on another stratosphere right now. I haven't seen this type of running back play in a long time.
I haven't seen so big but so explosive. Like when he gets the ball, it's like his takeoff is like
Once he gets the corner, once he bends that edge, it's like, yeah, goodbye. You might as well just not even chase after him.
Yeah, his ability to cut, it's unmatched. I mean, there's nobody in the league like him.
he's huge.
That offense runs through him. If that offense didn't have Saquon, they're not where they're at right now.
That is
Yeah,
that's a fact. And I think it's a testament to what their offense was 2 years ago when they had Miles Sanders, or even last year when they had DeAndre Swift. And you get those guys the ball, and they get their head, they get their head of steam running, and they're going and they're going, and their run game is their president. Their run game has been their president, for the last 2-3 years. It's just now they got that premier guy who can hit their head on a goalpost from anywhere on the field, from 99 all the way to 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, the guy is a monster. Create 3 touchdowns. He had over 150 yards. His first
and he hurt his calf.
and he hurt his calf. That scared me. I'm not gonna lie, that scared me. I seen him massaging that calf, and I was like, "Yo." I told my brother, I was like,
He
"Yo,
would have
bro."
way more touches.
I was like, "Yo, bro, you gonna have to sit down, bro." I was like, "He gonna have to sit down, man, because like that Achilles is like I don't want to see nothing happen to Saquon." You know what I'm saying? As much as like I'm upset that he's an Eagle, and it was $1 million difference. I do not want to see anything happen to Saquon. I do want to see him achieve the legacy that he can get. You know what I'm saying? But I do also, and Snipe, you might not like this. I do need to give credit to where credit is due elsewhere as well.
Don't say it. Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jalen did his damn thing. Okay, I think the way he controls the offense and the way of which Snipe you said many times before in the chat where Jason Kelsey was the main guy setting protections. He was the main guy calling out the defense and stuff like that. And then after he's gone, we left it up to Jalen, and we've seen what it looked like for a while. How Jalen is, all flustered and stuff like that. And Washington did some great things, flustering him in the pocket. But Jalen did some damn good things, evading the pressure, throwing the ball away. He protects himself. He slides, even if it's a gain of 2. I'm okay with that because I know I got guys who can get me 8 more yards in 2 plays guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? So the decision making that I have to credit Jalen for the decision making that he makes in the games.
Definitely.
3 rushing touchdowns, all tush pushes. We know. Well, not all of them. I think one of them was from 20.
He had one that was like a 12-yard run.
Yeah. He had one that was pretty far out off a read option. And I mean the audibles that he made, to the checkdowns, the checks that he made, the huge 4th and 5. Before the half, Marlon helped.
AJ Brown.
Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore.
AJ Brown is big.
It was crazy. I thought I was like, oh crap, it was 1-on-1 backside. We know where the ball is going, but I thought he had a good jam at first, and then you just see that his head went down. Yeah, he just mauled him, and AJ Brown. Once you see that ball go up, AJ Brown put his hands up. It's GG's. You know what I'm saying? You might as well call it a rep. You might as well try and push him out of bounds or something. But yeah, I got to give credit to Jalen, man. He did his damn thing. Second Super Bowl appearance in 3 years. There's a graphic I'm gonna send to Liv. Hopefully she'll be able to pull it up on the screen. It's a narrative going out there that they're trying to push, and the narrative is Jalen being better than Lamar.
Fuck up. See, I don't need curse. I'm trying to lock my. You trying to bring it on.
This is volume it takes. I gotta keep it hot, man. What do you guys think?
Look at the team, bro. Jalen's team is like. They are the best. They are by far. That's the best roster in the NFL in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Forget just this year. That is the best roster in a long time. You can't look at put their roster up against other people's rosters. It's gonna be like that's crazy. They have 4 Pro Bowl or All Pro O-line. They have the number 1 defense. They got a top 5 receiver and a top 10 receiver. Like they got Saquon fucking Barkley. I don't know what these. Don't get me wrong. They hit with some good draft picks, but like DeJean and Quinion, that was some good draft picks. But it's like they got monsters everywhere.
That's true.
This is where I seem like
the thing Jalen Hurts did was throw the ball away.
This is where I seem like a Jalen hater though, because we're talking about like how star-studded that offense is. And he's got arguably the best O-line in front of him. Mm-hmm. And so, comparison with him and Lamar, imagine how crazy Lamar's stats would be if he had those dudes blocking for him.
Lamar had
the Ravens, overall, their O-line did all right this year, but they had issues at certain spots at times that were allowing quick pressures on Lamar, so he has to bail out of the pocket early. And he still ended up with, 41-4?
Yep.
Right? Or Jalen's stats.
Yep. I seen a tweet that was he said in 1 year, Lamar had more touchdowns than Jalen had in 2 seasons. I was like,
it's not even comparable. How many touchdowns did Jalen throw for this year?
I think he threw for 24.
Has he? I don't think he's ever thrown for 25 touchdowns.
No, I don't think he has.
Yes.
And you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
And you got Saquon that everybody has to sell out on.
That's true.
Like everybody has to load the box and you aren't throwing more.
You better not even put their
But
names.
how much of a testament is it that everybody loads the box and Saquon still damn near rushed for 2,000 yards? He was 105 yards away from breaking a record.
Because their O line is elite and he's elite. So you put an elite O line with an elite running back, and his vision is explosive. First guy's not tackling him. O line is blocking their ass. So receiver and AJ Brown, as much as they say he's a diva, he gonna block. They gonna block. So the receivers gonna block too. His clip, man. GG's.
Yeah,
and if they don't beat the Chiefs, I don't think they are. Don't get me wrong. I love Pat Mahomes, even though he's like my number one rival. I hate the Chiefs, but I love Mahomes because he a real deal. You can't hate greatness.
You can't hate on Pat.
You can't hate greatness.
I can appreciate that.
So I love Mahomes, but it's like I don't see nobody beating that man. But they should. If you look at their team, they should beat them.
It's a matchup. I think
But
it's a really crazy
team gonna do some bullshit. They gonna win.
My thing is, they got to figure out a way to slow down Saquon. If they figure that out, I think Jalen's going to have a nightmare scenario. What's that?
You got to make Jalen beat you.
The thing is, if we can slow down Saquon, it becomes a game of Spags versus Jalen, and I'm taking Spags all day, every day. Spags learned how to shut down the GOAT, Brady, twice with the Giants. Right?
So he gonna give you some exotic blitzes that you never fucking seen in your life.
So, and then, I mean, the Chiefs have a solid D-line. I think they've arguably been the best run defense in the league. Where they've struggled, it's against teams like the Ravens, where Lamar broke, I think, like 130 yards worth of rushing on them. And outside of that, they weren't really letting a whole lot of people gash them too much. So I think they'll have some answers for Saquon. Do I think that they're going to completely keep him in check? No, we didn't keep James Cook in check either. But I think James Cook is a top-level talent running back. So, I don't take too much, at fault for that. Like, he's going to break some runs. And so Saquon will as well. But when you get to those third downs, will Jalen have the answer? And we saw Washington give him a ton of time in the pocket, and he still almost held the ball too long where he was almost taking unnecessary sacks. And then you speed his time clock up where he's got to throw it quick, got to find the right guy. Is he going to do that against the Spags defense? I don't know.
I don't think so. Because I think the way that you guys will play it is the first read is that boy number 11, and if 11 ain't there and 6 is on the other side, I feel like if you don't put them on the same side and you make the defense choose who to double, and you know what I'm saying, that's the best way for me. I feel like because the way Spags defense is, we seen Spags just give Josh Allen hell. Okay, they didn't even want to put the ball in the air. Okay, they did not want to. The first 2 plays they put the ball in the air. We seen what happened. Okay, I think you have to put your best players on the same side of the field. Although it's condensing the field a little bit, it's also threatening the defense and making them choose, okay, we can't double that guy. We'll have to play somebody single. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's going to have to be single and somebody's going to have to be the quick read. And they're going to have to choose which one is going to be which. Now, like you said earlier, Meech, in the other episode, if you could put them in a condensed formation, like a tight formation, and you can hide both A.J. Brown and Smitty, on the same side, if you could do that, that's going to cause a lot of problems, especially with a Spags defense who brings a lot of pressure, who blitzes a lot. You know what I'm saying? Especially mobile quarterbacks who don't get the ball out quick. And that'll might have an advantage. But I just don't think that the Eagles will get... If the Eagles can stay on track and play their game at their pace, and although, and KC could do the same thing, I do expect it to be a good game. I don't really see Jalen having to win this game. You know what I'm saying? And if that makes sense. I don't see Jalen having to put on a cape like Lamar had to put on a cape, drive down the field and try and fight for a 2-point conversion. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if they can chip and nip and chip and nip, and they'll get their little small slant route to A.J. Brown and let A.J. Brown do his thing and give the quick out route to Smitty, let Smitty do his thing. Make the defense play honest. I think that Jalen won't really have to be a factor. You know what I'm saying? The most you'll have to do is throw the ball 5 yards and let the team do the rest.
It's gonna be a time where like on 4th and 5, he's gonna have to throw that go ball.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna have to throw that go ball in the bag. It's not just gonna be dunk because Chris Jones, he gonna get there.
Just Chris is
Chris Jones is gonna get there, and then like already, the O line already beat up Dickerson and Jurgens. I don't know if these 2 weeks gonna be crucial for him because like give them time to heal. But I don't know how healthy they gonna be, and then you tell them you gonna put Chris Jones right in front of them. Good fucking luck. So it's like he gonna have to make some plays with his arm. He's gonna have to. And like he can make throws. Don't get me wrong. He's not ass. Like he can make some throws, but can he consistently like make the right read fast enough before he actually gets home? That's what I don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jalen is a good player, so I think he's going to be able to make some plays for sure. I just don't put him in the top tier when I'm talking QBs.
And I think when you were saying about Cook, him running, I think the threat of Josh Allen helped him run a little bit more too.
Right, and I don't think Kansas City's going to fear it.
But I was ready to say I wouldn't fear him like I fear Josh Allen.
Right, especially because I still think that left knee is bothering him a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he's running at full speed, and he already was not a fast runner. Mm-hmm. Like most of Kansas City's linebackers run just as fast, if not faster.
Yeah.
So
Nick Bolton is fast. Tranquil is fast.
Yeah. And we've all seen it. Unlike Josh Allen, these dudes when they see Jalen take off, they aren't scared about getting run over like they are with Josh Allen. They know if they get in the area, he's going down. He's sliding.
He's sliding.
So they're going to be able to overcommit on Saquon, which I think that's going to allow them to have a little bit of an answer. I still think Saquon's going to have a game. The only team, I was looking back on the stats, I think the Browns were the only team to really shut him down. He had 18 carries for like 40 yards. So if I'm Kansas City, I'm looking at that game tape real close this week. But
front seven is elite, though.
Yeah, they did have a nasty front seven. That's what
he held it for a long time too.
Yeah,
he got one.
I think. What did he have? He only had 60 yards versus you guys.
I don't know. He had one good run. He might have cracked 100 with that good run, but it was like 30 for 100 type shit. You feel me?
Yeah, they were like I said, they were chip, nip, nip, and wait till something break open. That's all you need is just one thing to break open. And
one to put him away too. That was the killer.
If the Eagles win, it's because Saquon went off.
Yeah,
if he doesn't go off, I don't think there's a path for victory for them.
I believe it.
Or my only thing that they can is I know Pat gonna get the ball out quick, but if the worst thing is interior pressure. Jalen Carter, if he has a day, a day where he like in Pat Mahomes' lap all day, I can see I lose. Because with the edge, you can step up, you can get it up. But if they get interior pressure, is the worst. Every quarterback needs that. So if you get him to like go off against those guards, which is our best lineman, though, like Creed and all them. But,
yeah, he's going to be going against the strength, though.
Yeah. He's still a Carter's an animal.
Well, I'm not saying that, but Creed's a beast. If he goes up against Trey Smith, I would pay to see them get in the octagon together. To be honest, those are two beasts, man. Him and Trey Smith.
So I would say the only hope was like Eagles interior D line has a day.
Yeah, but I still the ability that Mahomes has to extend and make plays happen. Like, even if Carter gets free quick on a couple of plays, I don't think it's enough to change the game, because even if you get us backed up, you get us a sack, Mahomes has a tendency to make up for it. So,
when the only time you see Mahomes lose?
Mahomes lose? In the playoffs?
The Bucks with that pass rush.
Yeah,
what?
They killed. But then that O-line wasn't really good at that point, though,
We had one starting O-lineman healthy.
Yeah, I remember.
I know the O-line was bad, but This year, your O-line not particularly good this year.
No, the tackles are weak, but they moved Tooney out to left tackle, and he actually was one of the top 5 best tackles of any of the teams.
Elite inside too.
Yeah, so I think they have a bit of a solution there.
Is 74 still out there, Jawan?
Yeah, he's still.
Yeah,
out
he's
there.
still out
And
there.
you know what's
but
crazy? They moved him. You know, I will say this. He since they moved him up closer to the line, I watched that last weekend. You know, Snipe, you know I was watching that, Snipe. You know I was looking at Javon, all right?
Bro, he be cheating, bro. I don't care
listen,
nobody.
but listen, since they moved him up closer to the line of scrimmage, he looked a lot better than what he does, you know, when he's trying to get a jump back, when he's so far back. He looks so much better when he's closer up on the line.
Well, that's what I was telling you last week. A big issue with his blocking ability, he was creating too much of a gap between him and the guard.
Too much space.
Yeah, and so they were able to, you know, give him one move and then go to the inside, and they were able to break through that gap, and that was causing a lot of the pressure. Now that when he moves up on the line a little bit further, he's not getting that quick of a jump. It's not creating that gap. He's a good blocker when he's got you in front of him.
He's good when he gets on you.
Yeah, but that was the problem. And now it's kind of solved itself where that right side is fine. I mean, we saw Mahomes take off, 3, 4, 5 times against the Bills on that right side. Yeah. And the Bills D-line is decent. Yeah. You know, like, and we saw Mahomes continually going to Taylor's side. Yep. So that leaves me confident in that side. The only guy that, you know, will be questionable is if they line Carter up over our left guard Caliendo. Mm-hmm. He's the guy we got filling in Tooney's spot since he slid out. I mean, we'll see what the Chiefs do. We'll see what the Chiefs do. Against the Texans, they definitely wanted him out wide. Against the Bills, they wanted him out wide because of Russo. And then if they lined up Von Miller, whatever side they were going to put him on, they wanted him out wide. But with Carter being the threat on the interior, it wouldn't shock me. I mean, I want continuity, so I want Tooney out at left tackle. But they might start Humphreys at left tackle and leave Tooney back in the middle and keep that middle core intact. So
Nolan Smith is coming on too, and that boy fast around that head.
Yeah, he is. So let's get to that matchup. Actually, that Bills and Chiefs matchup. JP, JK. Okay, those things now mean January Kelsey and January Pat, all right? And now we got a new one, JX, January Xavier, all right? Because, god damn, they looked unstoppable in the first couple drives. Yo, the first drive, when he came out and Hollywood was catching, I was like, wait, Hollywood could look kind of nice. I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, Hollywood. I was like, okay. Man, the Chiefs, all in all, man, they stood tall. The Bills, the Bills played a good game, man. You can't take anything away from the Bills. They played a good game. I don't like that first drive that they came out and Josh threw those 2 passes that should have been interceptions, but outside of that, they played a good game. I think Joe Brady at first wanted to go throw for throw, and he wanted to make big play for big play, but that wasn't their game all year. You know what I'm saying? Their game was through the run game. Let the run game dictate how the game is going to go, wear down the defense, and then you can start putting the ball in the air. And sure enough, when they started doing that, they started finding success. However, they did not make more plays than what the Chiefs did. And that's what it came down to. They just didn't make more plays than the Chiefs. People can blame the refs. People can blame the play calling, the spots. They can blame whatever they want to blame. The Bills, when it came down to it, they did not make more plays than the Chiefs. They had every opportunity to do it. They didn't. So that's where I stand on it. I do want to say this for all my Raven fans out there, for the flock. The Bills were a catch away. How ironic is that? How ironic is that? They were a catch away. And it was a tight end.
I'd rather Mahomes keep winning than Josh get one before Lamar. I'm sorry, that's just the pettiness.
I'm 100% with you on that too.
Lamar,
we will never hear the end of it. We will never hear the end of it.
We will never hear it.
And honestly, this year, like, before this year, I didn't really have an opinion between the two. They were just both kind of in that second tier behind Mahomes to me. Like Mahomes is his own tier. Until they do anything to get close to Mahomes, he's his own tier. And there ain't nobody in the league that right now is in the same tier with Mahomes.
Can't argue that.
It's his own tier, man. Like I'm not here to argue stats because I know that
Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. You can go hear me argue with you on that.
Yeah. So, but they're all great, right? They all have their performances that you just watch and you can admire and be in awe of. So, don't get me wrong. They all have, their great moments. But Mahomes is his own tier. But when it comes to the Bills game, I didn't want them to advance and get one before Lamar because I saw the Bills Mafia get unruly with, racial claims, just a variety of issues that I didn't like. So I didn't want that fan base. I didn't want that fan base to have the bragging rights because. I mean, I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm a diehard Chiefs fan. I'm supposed to oppose the Ravens, and I was sitting there rooting for the Ravens almost as hard as I was for my Chiefs when they played the week prior. So I want Lamar to have that success before Josh, and it's because of that fan base.
Meech, what did you think about the game?
It was alright. The Chiefs game, right?
Yeah.
I caught the end of it because I was still salty, so I didn't know if I was going to watch it or not. But when I turned it on, it was right when they scored I have, but Mac Collins bagged McDuffie, which was not PI, but
I hate that.
They don't like the flag, bro. Like
anything that's passed,
any deep ball, they're gonna call it PI. The DB has the right to the ball just as much as the receiver does.
Yep.
But
I wasn't going to argue it though.
Yeah, it was a good catch though, nonetheless. It was a good catch by Matt Collins. Yeah, it's just like Pat makes every play you need. He needs to make. That's the difference between him, Lamar, Josh. I don't think he makes the spectacular plays that he used to. Like when he had Tyreek and Kelsey. Like Lamar probably makes more spectacular plays. Even Josh probably makes more spectacular plays. But Pat makes the play all the time. That's the difference between those two. All three of those. Pat, when you need it, when you gotta have it. What do you say? X gonna give it to you?
Yep.
Pat gonna give it to you.
Pat gonna give it to you. Yeah. I really.
I love Lamar, but like that's just.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. For all the people who watch, you'll hear me talk more about compare Lamar. You'll hear me say more about Lamar than you will hear me say my own quarterback in New York, and that's because I'm a huge Lamar fan, and I advocated so strong for Lamar this year. I fought so hard to see him I fought so hard against other people and debates and stuff because he's just one of one, and the same thing. And Snipe is the same way for Pat. Pat is one of one. I don't think anybody can argue that at that point. 7 straight AFC championships, 7 straight.
Ever since he became a starter, the worst that Louisville has done is an AFC championship.
And it's nothing less.
Brady can't do shit like that.
This is the 3rd straight Super Bowl in a row. This is his 5th Super Bowl appearance or 6?
5 out of 7 of his starting years is Super Bowl.
Yep. So already he's damn near right there with Brady.
Right now, he has Brady in that career.
You know what I'm saying? He's one of one. You can't argue with the guy. You can't argue the guy. So when people say things like how Snipe just said, he's in his own tier. I'm not going to touch that tier. I'm not going to argue that. Now, if you want to go by year-to-year basis, sure. You know what I'm saying? If you want to talk about regular season, sure. Maybe he might have been in a tier 2 guy. Maybe he was a tier 3 guy this year because he didn't start the season so well. and maybe Lamar was that tier 1 guy, and Joe Burrow was right there with him, or whatever, however you want to look at it.
Needed the most.
But when you needed the most, Pat showed up. Special teams showed up multiple times this year. The Chiefs just showed up. All in all, for 17 games, even in the Bills game. I think the Bills game, they just got outplayed. That was just simple as that. It was one costly mistake, the interception, that gave the Bills the momentum, even though the Bills kind of also threw an interception as well. But I just think that interception that the Chiefs threw was more costly than the Bills. And that's what separated the game right then and there. I think that's kind of like, outside of that, all 17 games, that they showed up. And that's why they're here now. That's why they're back for a three-peat, and they're about to go play the Eagles. But, I mean, credit to the Bills. Now, this is where I really want to get into. I am seeing now that post-game media, post-game media is always interesting. After the Bills and Ravens game, we seen Lamar's a choke. Lamar's this, Lamar's that, Lamar's this, Lamar's that. The Ravens this, the Ravens that. After the Bills game and the Chiefs game, do you feel sad for Josh Allen? Why the hell would I want to feel sad for Josh Allen?
This is my only, not like I understand what they're saying, but this is the difference. How many turnovers did Josh have?
He had none.
Lamar had 2 turnovers. So that's the only reason they have that to stand on, is because when we in that clutch moment, Lamar didn't have a turnover. Josh, when he loses to Pat, remember he lost with 13 seconds left. Mm-hmm. And then now he lost on the 1 yard line. Played good, 0 turnovers. Oh, Josh has no weapons. He shouldn't even be in the game. You know that narrative that they play. So it's like, that's why Josh gets to have that. I still don't think it's right, but that's the only reason, because Lamar.
I don't feel bad.
Here's my counter to the turnover argument. So game starts, the Chiefs started making Josh look like old Josh.
Yep.
Where it looked like he was going to be sloppy.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Then the Bills went really conservative on the following drives, and it was effective, right? Mm-hmm. Because the Chiefs still had to be game planning for any of the deep, explosive plays that they're capable of. So it was still really effective going conservative. But there was a stretch where the Bills, I think it was 16 consecutive plays, that they either didn't throw the ball or every throw was behind the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. So they took the ball out of Josh's hands. So that's why when people argue, Lamar had 2 turnovers. So they protected Josh. The Ravens put the ball in Lamar's hands to win it. Mm-hmm. The Bills, in my opinion, took the ball out of Josh's hands to win it. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, that gives me, that sways me to give Lamar more credit, because he was trusted by his team to go and try to make the play, where Josh really didn't try to make the play until that 4th and 5 when it absolutely had to happen. Because outside of that, how many plays did, outside of the Mac Hollins touchdown?
I mean, he got stuffed on he got stuffed on the goal line for the tush push. Did they end up scoring on that though? They ended up scoring on one of them, right?
Yeah, I think that one they ended up scoring.
And they got stopped a couple times on the tush. I mean, outside, and then
Cook did that crazy Superman stretch.
Yeah, and then he did the QB. Oh yeah, James Cook did the stretch over the goal line. With the pitch. Yes, the pitch. Yeah, with the I thought that was a beautiful play design. I thought that was really cool. And it was crazy effort.
He wasn't supposed to get that.
Yeah, that was a great effort by James.
Yeah, came down.
And then the QB wrap. The QB wrap with the guard pull and Josh is following, or the tackle pull and Josh is following, that got stopped.
He had a 4-yard touchdown to Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, I did that on the drag route, right? I just don't. Other than that, I really don't think he made any wow, you know what I'm saying, the crazy. killer plays, but
And
he
look-
also didn't make any really terrible
Mistake.
plays though.
Yeah,
No,
that's-
but I'm just saying, like, you gotta take it with the territory, right?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%, 100%,
'Cause if it's not for Lamar, they don't get back in that game.
absolutely,
What do
100%.
they say? They want to talk about the turnovers, but nobody talks about how he led them from down double digits at half
11
to be
points,
right back in the game. Game winning touchdown drive. You gotta have it.
and he gave it to
Yeah.
us.
He did what he needed to do with his arm. Boom, 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 touchdown.
And that's the thing. When,
elite shit right there. Like Lamar, like that's where I seen his growth. Because the first couple of years he wasn't doing that. In the playoffs he wasn't doing that. But this year he came back. He had the 2 turnovers, one which I think was Nine's fault, but it's the quarterback's fault always. So you know how they go. So, but then we came down. Well, how much time was left? Like 2 minutes.
He walked
3
the field
minutes?
down with 3:30 with
Walked
like 3:30
down.
change.
Walked them down, passing. I don't even think he ran the ball once. I think he like got out of pocket, but he didn't like run
he
them
didn't
down.
scramble. He just dumped. It was just. I think he got that first play. It was like 3 yards, and then
And I
second and 7.
can
And
catch
then he
the Aguilar that really got him down like 30 yards.
The Tylan Wallace, he like ran out the side of the pocket, and then did that jump pass to Tylan Wallace across the middle.
Aguilar.
Was that No, that was Tylan, bro. That was
Oh,
Tylan.
Aguilar.
Aguilar wasn't on the field that
Oh
last
yeah, yeah,
drive.
yeah. I see. Yeah, I know which one.
It was Anthony Miller, Tylan Wallace, and Bateman on the field that last drive. And then what happened? Then
Then he had Andrews on the sideline.
Andrews on
Then
the
he had
sideline,
like
and then
yeah,
Likely for
Andrews
the
on
touchdown.
unlikely over the middle of him.
Yeah.
So when the Ravens needed it,
He showed up.
Lamar took him down, got the touchdown,
80
and they would have
yards.
tied it if Andrews doesn't catch it, or if Andrews catches it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the Bills needed it, what happened to Allen?
Man,
I mean,
Spag sent the goddamn house and prayed. I wouldn't say he prayed. He just sent the house and he just outsmarted the hell out of him.
Cornerback blitz.
Man, the thing,
From short side.
like, when you look at the play, the left guard blocked absolutely nobody because he was so lost. He thought the pressure was coming from the
field.
opposite side. That when he looked, and then once he finally turned back to his right, it was too late. Josh was already in the air on the back. Now I do want to address a few things that did happen in the game that everybody loves to talk about. And Snipes, you know what I'm about to bring up.
Real quick though.
Go ahead.
That pressure, the reason the left guard was so confused, and Josh owned this after the game, he slid the protection left. He said that they were.
Thought he was coming from the field.
He thought they were coming from the wide side, and so he slid them left. So the reason that pressure got home as quick as it did was because Josh misidentified the pressure.
Didn't you guys show that a few times earlier in the game?
Yeah, they bluffed it several times, so he thought they were bluffing again.
So yeah, so on that play, there was a flag thrown, and I don't know what they would have called, and
It got picked up.
it did get picked up, and that's what I wanted to talk about. Some of the flags in the game, or some of the officiating calls in the game. I want to speak about that play first, though, because there's plenty of plays to talk about. But I want to speak about that play first. I forgot who I talked to earlier today. I think it was in the chat. I think it might have been Ryan in the chat, Snipes, or somebody that I talked to. And they said, why do you think that, that flag was thrown? Oh, it was last night. Actually, I was in a party with the guys, and I was talking to them. And he was like, why do you think that flag was thrown? And I was like, 9 times out of 10, it was not thrown on the Bills. It was actually thrown on the Chiefs. And it was going to be roughing the passer. I guarantee you it was going to be roughing the passer. But if you look at how Josh Allen got hit, and you look at how he landed on the ground after they reviewed the play, that's why they picked up the flag. It's not roughing the passer. It was a clean hit. Josh just happened to jump in the air, and nobody drove him into the ground. He just fell into the ground. So that's what my assumption was, because I didn't see any other reason for there to be a flag. There was no holding. Blitz got there clean. Nobody held. Nobody held on defense, to impede the receiver from running the route or anything like that. There wasn't a pass interference. So my biggest assumption was that it was going to be roughing the passer. Now I didn't read any article on it or whatever the case may be, but that's what I seen. Did you guys see anything different?
Romo is the one that was like, "Oh, there's a flag," but that was because somebody radioed to him that there was a flag.
Yeah.
And then Nance said
nobody actually threw a flag though.
Yeah, Nance said that he didn't see any yellow on the field. He's like, I don't think anybody threw a flag. I don't see one on the field. So I think it was a technical glitch.
Okay.
Yeah. So Nance said that there was never a flag down on the field.
I mute them after a while. I get tired of hearing Tony Romo talk, man, because he's
the biggest dick eater of them all.
I know what I said, but yeah.
And it's for both of those quarterbacks, so it's just endless. Like you don't get a break from it because whenever each offense takes the field, it's just
constant
switches the team. So,
I wish it would be better if he would just talk about like what they're gonna do instead of like just
he's good at that.
Yeah, just talk about what they're gonna do. Like call the play out. You know what I'm saying? Tell us what you're gonna see, what you're seeing.
We know they're great. You don't have to keep going on about
it. Exactly. But the next one I wanted to talk about. We're gonna talk about the three main ones, the three biggest ones of the game.
Is that a drop?
That's what I was gonna talk about.
Yeah.
I think that because the ball doesn't juggle, we all know the rule. As long as you have firm possession of the ball, even if it hits the ground, as long as you have possession of the ball before it hits the ground, it is a catch. That is the rule. Everybody knows that. You know what I'm saying? If you have it like this, you know what I'm saying, and it hits the ground, the spike of the ball hits the ground and it doesn't move, it's still a catch. And that's what we seen. The ball did not move, and although it's on the ground, Worthy...
he didn't catch the ball.
Worthy and the DB, they're fighting for it to a point where the ball does not move. The ball is not moving. So, I mean, and you have to give... You don't have to, but majority of the time, on a jump ball, majority of the time, they're going to give it to the offense. So,
that's the rule.
Yeah, so is it the correct call? Yes. Is it a crazy call? Yes. Now, did Patrick have to throw that ball? No, because Juju Smith was wide open. He made Kaiir Elam look like a absolute... I don't even want to say it, but Kaiir was
right there.
He would have walked in the end zone, but Jesus Christ, what he did to Kaiir was crazy.
I was talking about the Kincaid one, me personally, but what you're talking about, I'm talking about the last play.
Oh, the third down?
You consider that a drop pass?
No.
That's a hard
anytime it takes a dive, it's not a drop.
Yeah, that's not. They make it seem like he dropped it, like Andrews dropped it.
Oh, no.
And he's trying not to get killed by the DB that's coming towards him. He's diving head first towards the DB.
Yeah, his body's one way. He's diving the other way.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that a drop. That's a tough catch.
If he makes
that, it was a tight end that did it though. So I'm just saying.
If he makes that catch, it is one of the greatest catches.
Exactly.
So that's like a Julian Edelman type catch, almost damn near.
Yeah.
Not that level.
Yeah, that's not a drop. But the
X catch, that was a bad.
And I disagree. Okay, so here's the thing with the rules. Like Ace said, if the ball does not move, then possession is determined, and it's Worthy who has his hand up to the tip of the ball. Mm-hmm. He has it pinned against the defender's arm and against his chest. Mm-hmm. When they impact the ground, the tip of the ball hits the ground, never moves, never rotates. They rotate back. Worthy then takes full possession, and so then it's deemed that when they hit the ground, it's simultaneous possession, right? Mm-hmm. Because the ball doesn't move. If the ball doesn't move, that means that there's possession. That's how they've always ruled it with the new catch rules. And so then it goes to the simultaneous possession rules. That goes to the offensive player. So
every time. I said every time. 50-50 always goes to the offense.
Yeah, it's in the rule book that if it's simultaneous possession, it goes to the offense. And the reason none of it matters, and there is an aspect of this that it benefits the Bills, because on that play, the reason Mahomes threw it up is because Kelsey got mugged, I think by Hamlin, about 5 yards off the ball. The flag came out. There was a flag on the play. Mm-hmm. Nobody really knows it because the catch was ruled a complete catch. It got challenged, so everybody completely forgot that there was a flag on the play. It's an automatic first down from the 28-yard line, moves the Chiefs up to the 23 with 3 minutes left, or just under. So then the Chiefs can continue to walk it down, waste the rest of the time, potentially scoring a touchdown, and then they go into the half up 21-10. Instead, they go up 21-10 quicker. The Bills get 2 minutes to go down, and they throw a touchdown to Matt Collins. So if they rule that incomplete, like the Bills fans want it incomplete, then there's a chance that the outcome is worse for the Bills.
That is true.
It actually slightly benefited the Bills because then they got the opportunity to go get a touchdown. So it wouldn't have been Bills' ball either way, because it's either a complete pass or it's penalty on the Bills and it's a first down at the 23-yard line. So it didn't impact the game. Points were getting put on the board. If they hold them to 3, because that's going to be the next argument that they'll make. Oh, what if we held them to 3? Okay, then there's almost no time remaining, and the Chiefs go up 17-10 going in a half, where you guys went and got that touchdown, and you were down 5. Mm-hmm. No matter what way you want to look at it, the Chiefs then were forced to score quicker, gave the Bills time, and that allowed the Bills to make it a smaller difference than it would have been regardless.
Just that. So then what about the 2 plays back to back? The catch by Knox that was shorted and it made it 4th and 1 or 4th and half a yard or whatever, and then Josh Allen did he cross the plane or did he get stopped? I think he got stopped. And you know what it is? I think he got stopped, and I want to say once you get met with the force at and you get stopped at a point and you get stopped and you get held up for, let's say, a full millisecond, whatever, the play is dead at that point. You know what I'm saying? Forward progression doesn't happen. Forward progress doesn't happen at that point. And I think that's where the refs were looking at the point of where he got met at contact and it stopped, plays dead, whatever like that. You blow the whistle after he's already well over the line. You know what I'm saying? And then he's even pushed further back, whatever the case may be. I don't think he made the line to gain. Do you guys think he made the line? Chiefs, Snipes, I know you didn't think he made the line to game, but did he make the line to gain? Do you think he made the line to gain?
Okay, so I'll explain the scenario, my opinion of it. So the play prior, Knox, I think his elbow was down. Mm-hmm. It's hard to tell. Mm-hmm. There's really not a good angle on it. Mm-hmm. So I think the spot is as accurate as you're gonna get. And honestly, I think if the Bills don't go hurry up, it allows them to review it upstairs, and that's one of those booth reviews that you see come into play a lot. Mm-hmm. So I think if there was an issue with the spot, the Bills hurt themselves by not giving them time to review that upstairs. Because we see that a lot in the playoffs lately, where if there's a spot issue in between plays, all of a sudden it changes, and they're like, oh, actually it's a first down. So they went hurry up, and they did the QB sneak. And here's the big issue, is every single time they're going left on the QB sneak. Kansas City knew where it was going. And I think they did a design quarterback power one time that game.
Yep.
And they never went back to it, and it was effective.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. Worked. That was the 4th and 2 that they ran, and they got like 4 or 5 yards off of it on 4th down.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to stop the play.
What's that?
Sorry, I was just saying that QB power with Deion Dawkins pulling, it's almost impossible to stop that play.
Right, especially for a half a yard. So instead, you choose to call another quarterback sneak, a tush push, and it creates a pile where you're never going to see a clear visual of the football. So it creates a situation of, if it is close, where the referee spots it, it's not challengeable. Mm-hmm. Right? So you create a bad situation for your team in a crucial moment. And so, in my opinion, it's a lot of blame to put on the Bills. But in terms of the spot, I think it's good. I think it's a good spot because all of the angles that people have argued with me on Twitter, it's at an angle from a distance. It's not directly over. If you look at the overhead shot that looks like he crossed the line, it's from 5-10 yards back, so it's angled, right? So anytime you're looking from an angle back, it's always going to look like he's further forward. When you look directly down the line of scrimmage, the only angle that has it is the referee that came in and marked it short. Because the other referee that actually has a moment where you see the football, the only time you see the football, it's short of the mark. The time that it looks like it might have gotten there, Chris Jones and all 6'5" of him is in the way, blocking the angle. So there's no way that far referee that everybody's like, oh, well, he marked it forward. He couldn't even see him, right? He's just running out to the field, and that ball always stayed in Allen's right arm, and the right side of his body was always behind that line. And so I don't think it got there, but there's no angle where you can clearly see the football cross the line outside of an overhead view. And to me, the perspective from that camera, it doesn't allow you to overturn it because you can't tell if he's actually over the line or if he's short.
Yes. So. Yeah, I didn't think, even with the overhead cam, I mean, the overhead cam, it makes it look like he kind of did, but like you said, it's at an angle, and if anybody that's ever been to a game, you know the overhead cam doesn't go straight down. It's like kind of slightly back at an angle. So I don't think he made the line of game. I thought it was a fair spot. I do blame Sean McDermott for that third down, though, for not challenging at least, or like how much time was left? They had more than 2 minutes left because you guys iced the game after the 2-minute warning, right?
Yeah, I mean they review that regardless. So
I feel like if anything, take your time, challenge, throw a challenge flag on that if you feel like you want to get the first down. In some occasion, but like don't. I feel because in my opinion, I think that the third down spot was more questionable, was more reviewable, I should say, than the 4th and inches. Because I think from the sideline judge, his view is only the elbow. You know what I'm saying? I think Knox I think he was a lot closer than what they gave the spot to for Knox because his knee never touched. And by the time the ball gets to the line again, his elbow just hits the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that was more of a challengeable spot than the tush push, because the tush push, Josh didn't go. Josh just went sideways. His ass went lateral. His ass did not go forward. He went lateral, and everybody went lateral with him. So I do think that third down was more challengeable than the fourth down. And then I do have like one last thing outside. I don't really think any bad flags were called that game. I think all the flags that called that game were pretty decent. I mean, other than the spotting on that, I don't think the officiating was in the way, because there were calls that went both ways. You know what I'm saying? Bills Mafia. Listen, I seen some crazy things said by some Bills Mafia fans. I've seen some.
The
one dude that went on TikTok live and went crazy.
Massive.
The guys that are on Twitter, the guys that are on Instagram, it's absolutely crazy, and that's the only reason why I hope you guys don't win anything. You know what I'm saying? Like when you have fans like that, you know, one bad apple, it spoils the bunch. You know what I'm saying? And not all Bills fans are like that, because my uncle's a Bills fan and he's from New York, and you know what I'm saying? That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? I hope you don't experience no joy with the Bills. Like, you guys will be regular season bullies, and you guys will be the Dallas Cowboys of the AFC. You know what I'm saying? I hope that's what you experience.
My family is from Buffalo. They're the biggest Buffalo fan.
Yeah,
and even they say yeah, they're racist up there.
Yeah, and I hope they don't experience no joy. You know what I'm saying? And I love YB, and I love all of them, but I hope they experience no joy with Buffalo Bills, because they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. If you associate yourself with that, you don't deserve it.
And today they're going crazy on Mahomes' dad, because he woke up and tweeted out, "Oh, it's a great day to not be from Buffalo." And so they're all been out of shape, and they're like posting his mugshots and all sorts of stuff.
DUIs
and I'm
stuff.
just like, I'm like, I commented on it, and I'm just like, do you all not realize that he should have said much worse to you because y'all strung up a Kermit that was a lookalike of his son? You know, you're hanging that up at one of your tailgates. I'm like, come on now, you got to know that he saw that. Hot take for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be a reemergence of old Mahomes.
I do want to see a deep. I just want to see one 50-yard bomb. I just want to see one.
I want to say KC puts up 35 and all 5 come from the air. Mahomes throwing for 5.
Meech?
Call me a hater. Don't care. Jalen Hurts. 3+ sacks. 2 turnovers.
I can see it. My hot take, I think, not Xavier Worthy, but I think, it's between Xavier Worthy or Travis Kelce that's going to get Super Bowl MVP. It's one of those two. It's not going to be Pat. It's going to be between Xavier Worthy or Travis Kelce. And that's me saying that the Chiefs will three-peat. That's me saying that the Chiefs will three-peat.
Would love to see it go to Kelce.
On the final year, on the retirement year,
that'd be a nice way to go out.
That would be.
I guarantee you they show Taylor Swift 10 or more times.
I'll keep a tally mark for it. We'll keep a tally mark for it. But all right, fellas, this was a great episode. I don't want Liv to have too much to edit, so we're gonna close out. And it was good having you guys on. We will be back again next week. Snipe, do you want to come back next week?
100%.
All right, cool.
No.
We'll have Snipe. You'll be back. Shut up. We'll have you guys back next week. Thank you guys for coming through. I know it was a long episode, but you guys will be fine. You guys love it. You love us. By him to take, we are out.